right, guys, so this is going to be our Loki episode 3 spoiler discussion. But we do have a gentleman here who has not seen Loki episode 3. That's John Knight. But the good news is we've lost John Knight while he's doing a GPU update, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But John, or Rick rather, what are your thoughts here? Because I was going to say the good news here about having to kind of tread water on the spoilers for this is the fact that nothing really happens in this episode, quite
No.
frankly.
Okay,
Like,
does it?
there's nothing I could even spoil for John, like, frankly.
I
Like,
mean,
John, can you hear me right now? Because I can go ahead and just drop the one important information right now. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay, good. Because literally in this episode, they drop one line of dialogue, and that's the timekeepers did not create the TVA agents. That's it. Like they say that, and they say that just casually as Loki and Sylvie are just running like through that planet, that Lamentis one planet or whatever the hell it was. That's in Apocalypse Town where the moon's getting to that planet's blowing up, and they're just running through the desolate wastes, and then all of a sudden, like Loki looks to her and just says, like, "Wait, like the timekeepers didn't make the TVA? Like they didn't create them? Like I was told they created them." That was it, and then they just moved on.
Right.
Like that's a huge piece of information, but it wasn't even the main point of the whole episode.
Well, like you said off camera though too. I mean, visually the episode itself was like pretty visually cool. Like there was some really neat effects and CG and all that sort of stuff. But somebody who's not a huge Marvel fan or anything like that to begin with, like the show's kind of losing me. I'll put it that way. Like compared to I was saying Winter Soldier compared to WandaVision and all that, I find myself a lot more like getting on my phone and stuff while watching it because I'm just kind of like not that impressed with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying the show's losing me by any means. The only thing that I would say that's like negative about it, like, because what makes it a bad episode for me is that there's only 6 episodes. So like this was the halfway point. 'Cause, like so at this point, like the show's halfway over and we haven't learned anything new.
No,
So that's not a good thing. You know what I mean?
there
'Cause
was nothing really in this episode that, like you were saying, like, advanced the story at all.
nothing did. And some things just outright didn't make any sense either. Like they it's like all of a sudden him and Sylvie are just like friends.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing too, like,
It just
like, the whole singing scene and
the one thing I will say though that and this could make or break and change how we look at this episode, right? Because if you remember at the beginning when they're first like fighting each other and stuff, and she tries to enchant Loki and seemingly nothing happens to him.
yeah, he's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. So one of two things could have happened there. One, that could have been the actual enchantment, and then everything else after that actually didn't happen, and it's all been an enchantment.
Sure.
Okay. Or two, if you remember later as the episode progresses, he is asking her about her powers, her enchantment powers, and then she explains like how they work and how she like learned to do it to him. So my other theory is that if you remember when they're on the train and she is asleep and then like wakes up and he's doing the singing,
Yeah.
everything from the point where she woke up is Loki's enchantment on her.
Oh.
So if that's the case, everything post her waking up, which was all the stupid stuff in all honesty, like everything else after that point didn't make any goddamn sense. And like honestly, a lot of stuff leading up to that point didn't make any goddamn sense either for the most part. But it honestly like once it got to that portion, like once it got to the train, that's where the episode just kind of derailed for me.
Literally.
Like yeah, like it
Derail.
literally derailed. Like no pun intended. But once it got there, that's where the show like just it derailed for sure. But if that's all, if we find out in the next episode that that was actually an enchantment by Loki, then that would change things. You know what I mean? That could make everything make a little bit more sense. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. And another annoying thing kind of about this whole episode too, this is something that like annoys me anyway, is that like you don't get any confirmation as to whether or not she is or is not a Loki variant.
Right.
Like they still like aren't telling you like things that alluded to her being a Loki variant, but there's also things that like alluded to her not being a Loki variant. Like I don't know.
Which one is it?
Yeah, it just and it wouldn't bother me if we would have learned more about her character in general, but you really learned nothing. Like,
Yeah.
Loki even says it in the episode to her. Like, he's like, "I've done a lot of, like, sharing with you, but, like, I still don't know anything about you." And it's like, that's us. Like, we watched this whole episode, and we still don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
And it compounding the fact that all of a sudden they're like friends and like their relation they
Out
weren't
of
really
nowhere
friends, but
too.
that's what I'm saying. So it's like we don't know anything more about her. He admits that she knows he knows nothing more about her, but they're having this like seemingly like buddy relationship throughout the whole episode. And it's like, how why are you acting like this if you like you're admitting you don't really know her?
Right.
Because it's like, did we all forget that at the end of the first episode, they literally like show her like setting fire to a bunch of TVA agents, like for literally no reason. She just wanted to steal a little bomb thing from them.
Murders.
Yeah, and but she's just literally murdering all these people. And but in this episode, it's just like, oh, she just misunderstood, guys. She just, you know what I mean? She had a bad life, so it's like, it's okay for her to be like,
A
she's
horrible
doing
person.
she's doing her thing. It's all good, you know,
Yeah,
like,
it's just part of it.
it makes no sense. Like, so again, if this turns out to be like, oh, it was an enchantment or something, either way, right? Like, if Loki did it or she did it, then I guess that would make some of the stuff that was stupid about the episode not be as bad, but then it's just a waste of time at that point. Like,
Right.
you know, I mean, now it's just the episode was an entire waste of time. I don't know. The only thing that makes me do think it was like an enchantment, like on her via Loki, was the fact, like two things. One, like he's in like the train worker suit here before she falls asleep, but then after she wakes up, he's back in his TVA garb.
Yeah, the variant.
Yeah, and if you remember when she was explaining her powers, like she has to use memories from their like mind in order to shape the illusion.
Kinda like
Yeah.
that scene in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, exactly like that part was great though, by the way. That scene was good. The cold open into that scene, that was great. But the fact that he's in this outfit now, that would be like her only memory of this version of Loki. Is
True.
like that's the first thing that she saw with him in that outfit. So that's why it would to me it kind of makes sense that this is an illusion crafted by Loki ever since she woke up.
Well,
Who the fuck knows though?
being that it's a Marvel show too, it's like when it came to WandaVision, you were literally not you, but just people in general were literally breaking down like, dude, the way Wanda looked at the camera in that one scene could mean that this character, like so
Mephisto!
yeah, just Mephisto.
It's Mephisto!
Ah! I got a little into it.
But yeah, I don't know though. Like I just it it did not make me like not like the show by any means, but I think if anything, like I kind of said to you off camera, it's making me look more forward to next week because they're already at rock bottom for me with this one. Like this was the bottom of the barrel of all three episodes.
Yeah,
It wasn't like terrible. Like the CG and effects and everything, it all looked great.
it
It was the
did.
best looking episode.
Visually, yeah, it was
Like,
stunning.
it was very good. It all looked really good. I liked the scene, the callback to Thor 1 when he is, like, drinking the drink and then he throws it down and says, "Another," just like Thor did in the first
Yeah,
one in the
when
Pancake
he's having the
House.
alcohol, yeah.
Yeah, like, that was good. That was pretty much it, though. What I don't understand too is why Loki's still rocking his, little, like, TVA outfit. Like, now that he's out in the world and can use his magic, he could conjure up his regular costume.
Yeah, there's like little horns and
Yeah,
stuff.
like oh, there is one thing too that I think, might be a thing. I don't know for sure yet though. So there's that scene when the thing is like, they're running through here and the city's being destroyed, right? So, let me see if I can find it without going past it. Too far. I think it's right. Yeah, right here, right here, right here, right here. So if you remember, at the beginning of the episode, oh, there was another thing too. Sylvie has done all this studying everything, and she knows like the TVA and all this stuff, and she's like spent her whole life trying to fight against the TVA and knows everything about them. But then when she gets to the TVA, she doesn't know her powers won't work. You remember that? She gets in
Yeah.
there and tries to enchant the dude, and it's just like, "What?"
Yeah, it's, like, mind-blowing, like, "It doesn't work."
Yeah, how do you not know that at that point? Like, that's kinda
Didn't
stupid.
study enough,
Yeah,
obviously.
like, okay. But here's this scene here. If you remember, so Loki chased her through the portal, and that's where, like, he was back at the TVA, and then you see him stop and turn around, and then it cuts to the other scene, and the next time we see Loki, he's gotten his daggers. So it indicated that he went and got the daggers. But I'm thinking he may have got something else.
Yeah.
So if you remember the scene here, as they're running through, there's one of these building things that go to fall, and it looks like he just stops it with telekinesis. But if you pay attention right here, all the rubble goes back with it. Like, it looked like he literally stopped time and
Like,
rewound
rewound
it.
it.
So, like, I'm thinking he may have grabbed, like, the time stone or something,
I mean, it's a
because they
very
had all those
possible.
infinity stones laying around to the TVA.
Yeah, he just coulda, like, yanked it.
Yeah, he could just went when he got the daggers, went and grabbed time stone, because, like, that wasn't just using telekinesis to move it out of the way.
No, that was, like, it going
That
back.
literally rewound back to exactly where it was. So, maybe, maybe he has the time stone. Maybe he has all the infinity stones with him. I don't know. Part of me is thinking though that because we obviously know they don't die on this planet.
No.
Like, I mean, that's obviously not gonna happen. So I think either he's got the stones, like plural. Maybe he grabbed all of them, so he could just poof them out of there with the space stone. Um, or when he acted like, I think maybe he was acting like the temp pad broke, but he really has the temp pad, and they can just use it to get out of there. Like that whole thing with it breaking when he got thrown out of the train.
Yeah.
Like that could have been an illusion, like just fucking with her, and like he does still have the temp pad. That was another thing that I really thought was stupid. Like somehow Loki, the god of mischief, who like literally fought against the Hulk and survived, and like was fighting Captain America, and it was like besting him. Like this dude does not fuck around, but he just got thrown out of a train by two random dudes.
Right.
Like how could they have even tried to move him and them not just bounce off of him? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, how could he just not flick them and they just die? Like, his power level is very different than it ever was before. You know, it's weird. Like, because we don't know, like, I guess we don't know who these people are on Lamentis One. Maybe they are a lot stronger than normal humans.
Like Kryptonians or something.
Yeah, but like it just I thought that was kind of odd how it's just like they just grabbed him and casually throw him out the window. Like I don't.
Yeah, it was pretty, like, effortless.
Yeah, it was like really like that's just how you get rid of him. Like just he's gone and there he went.
And there he went.
And there he went right out the window. And yeah, I like it again. I liked the beginning part, like this part, but yeah, it still didn't really like do much.
Right.
Like, she didn't actually learn anything, unfortunately, so we didn't really learn anything. Like, she was trying to get information out of the agent, but she couldn't. Like, nothing happened.
Right.
So, like, I it was kind of unfortunate, I don't know. In the end, I just wish it was better, but
Yeah.
it wasn't a dumpster fire. I just hate that we got one line of information and it wasn't even focused on. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. My guess is that in some aspect this was an illusion, but at the same time, if it is, that's kind of annoying because we just wasted a whole episode. Like, you know what I mean?
On yeah, literally just like an illusion.
Yeah, and it's like, but it wasn't even cool. Like, it wasn't even a good illusion, really, because like, not it wasn't very exciting of an episode. Like, I don't know. It was odd. All right, it was odd, and I don't feel like they have any chemistry.
No.
I don't think it's, like, the actor's fault at all, like, I
It's
don't
the
think it's
writing.
yeah, the writing is just, like, the way everything is being done and the way the story was being told and what they were saying, it was just, like, it just felt like things were being said, and that was it. Like, it was just, I don't know, like, it was reading things off a piece of paper and, like, it didn't really land.
I would agree.
What are your closing thoughts on it? You got anything you wanna add?
No, I think we covered it for the most part. I mean, that's really it. It's just we'll have to wait and see what episode 4 brings for us.
Do you think, do you agree with me that, like, we're at rock bottom now, so the next one has to be better,
Yeah, I
or
mean,
do
you
you
can only go up from here,
or
so
that's kind of the saving grace I
we can
have
hope.
with it is, like, next episode's gotta be better. If it's not, then I will start to get worried.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, at that point, it's like, "Okay, we only have 2 episodes left,"
What are you
and
gonna do in 2 episodes to wrap this up?
exactly, and, like, now your record's, like, you're 2 and 2, alright? Well, we got 2 bad episodes, 2 good episodes, like, does that mean we're only gonna have 1 more good one, so this next one's gonna be bad too? Like, I don't know. I'm worried about it on some level, but again, you can only go up from here. That's kind of my final thoughts on it. You can only go up from here. So, but whatever you guys thought of Loki episode 3, I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on it because I didn't think it was all around bad. The production quality was good. Like the production value was good. I like the actors. A lot of people have been shitting on the Sylvie actress and like, dude, it's not her fault. The writing's been really shitty for her character. Like honestly, she's done perfectly fine with what she's been given. Everyone wants to blame the actors. All they're doing is reading a fucking script. All right. Like, you got to be like really bad at your job. Like, I could tell she's being the character. So she's doing fine as an actress, but the writing is really failing everybody. Like, even the things Tom Hiddleston did in this episode, the things he was saying, none of them really made sense. It was all kind of stupid. So, whatever you guys think, to let us know down in the comment section below.